but it didn't happen. Melinda gave her a shy smile and said, "Hi." Amy suddenly felt incompetent, pulled herself together and said, "Hi, follow me, I will take you to your room." Amy led Melinda straight down the hall and turned right at the first hallway that they came to. She thought about what James had said about making friends with Melinda, but she had no idea what to talk about. She was just about to make something up when they reached Melinda's room. It was 2 doors down from the end of the hall to the right. Amy looked at the closed door. "I forgot the keys." She was just about to say that she would be right back, but then she realized that she couldn't leave Melinda alone in the hall. All the doors to the patient rooms automatically locked when they were closed. Amy looked at the orderly at the observation station that was just up ahead and waved at him. He immediately got a look of concern and jumped out of his seat and walked quickly over to Amy and Melinda. He looked at Melinda and then asked Amy, "Is this patient bothering you, doctor?" Amy smiled. "Oh no, she's fine. I just forgot to bring the key to her room. Dr. Darcy asked me to bring her to her room for lunch." The orderly was tall and muscular, with light brown hair and green eyes. His hair was cut very short, and he was wearing a white t-shirt and white pants. His name was Richard Garner. He gave Amy a look of disapproval and took the key ring off his belt and unlocked and opened the door to Melinda's room. There were 12 different keys on his key ring, each with the room number labeled on it. Melinda was in Ward B, Room 2. There were 4 wards at the Wells Mind Laboratory and Parapsychology Research Center, and each ward had 12 rooms each. Most of them were vacant. Richard held the door open. "There you go." He looked at Melinda. Melinda looked in the room and hesitated. It wasn't a bad room. It was painted light blue, and she had a window that overlooked the open grass area that the patients were allowed to spend time in for several hours a day under supervision. There was a twin bed with a nightstand, 2 chairs, and a small round table. Melinda looked at Amy. "Have lunch with me." Melinda caught Amy off guard. She had never reached out to anyone or asked for anything more than water. Amy looked at Richard. "I'll prop the door open while you are here." He looked over at Melinda and gave her a look that said, "Don't try anything or you will regret it." Amy nodded and said, "Sure." Melinda gave Amy a little smile and then walked into her room. She walked over to the table and sat in one of the chairs, the one that had a view of the open door, not the chair that faced the window. Amy went into Melinda's room and looked around. A pang of guilt hit her, knowing that she was partly responsible for Melinda not being able to leave. Amy looked at her watch and then took her cell phone out of her pocket and called down to the cafeteria. Leslie, the person in charge of lunch orders for the staff and patients, answered the phone on the 3rd ring. "Cafeteria?" "Hi, Leslie. This is Dr. Knight. I'd like my lunch brought to WB2 when the orderly brings the patient's lunch. We are ready to eat." "Will do," Leslie said. "Thank you." Amy ended the call and looked over at Melinda, who was sitting at the table watching her. She had a big smile on her face. Amy walked over to the table but didn't sit down. She looked at Melinda, but Melinda was still looking over to the area that Amy had been standing. Melinda still had a big smile on her face. Amy sat down slowly and looked at Melinda and then over to the part of the room that she was staring at. Amy didn't see anything. She looked at Melinda. Amy said very softly and slowly, "What do you see?" Melinda's smile grew wider, but she didn't look at Amy. She said softly, "An angel."